Welcome back, football fans, to another episode of the Prediction Show. It is the final game week in the EFL. The Championship, League One and League Two come to a close on Saturday. And in this cracking episode of the Prediction Show, we're going to put together selections for all of those divisions. But first, we must check out the permutations. We must have a look at the league standings, the latest form. And I'm also going to start by showing you the expected points table. Some people call this the Justice League. Are there teams that maybe don't deserve to be in the playoffs? Are there teams that really should have had a better season? We will show you that. And I've also developed a new tool that will let us see the most profitable teams from this season for multiple markets. So we will dig into that data as well. So, final day, relegation, promotion, playoffs, plenty to play for. Some teams, nothing to play for. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to start with the Championship. Coventry are promoted, even with 3 draws in the last 5 games. 92 points, potentially 95, given that they are away at Preston this weekend. Interesting game for them. Preston, nothing to play for. There's a few games like that we'll cover as well, where teams could potentially be on their holidays already. We'll just go to the bottom before checking out the title race, because interestingly, this isn't usually the case in the Championship, but there is little to play for on the final day. The relegation situation has been resolved. Oxford can only get 50 points. West Brom are on 51 points. Leicester City down already, no wins in the last 5. And Sheffield Wednesday, a single win all season, -3 points. Oh dear, oh dear. Back up to the top of the table, we have Derby County on 69 points. A couple of defeats in their last 5 games means they are the outsiders in the playoff push. Hull City and Wrexham, who have been sort of fighting for that 6th place spot for the past month or two, because Southampton have just been sensational in picking up points consistently. They are now safe, as are Middlesbrough on 77 and 79 points. Wrexham start the day inside because of a single goal in terms of goal difference. So Wrexham, if they draw, it may not be enough depending on how Hull do. So they are the games to keep an eye on in terms of the playoff race: Wrexham, Hull and Derby. Now at the top of the table, Ipswich are currently second by a single point. Millwall could be promoted if Ipswich fail to win and Millwall get 3 points. So let's jump to some of the fixtures, shall we? And Ipswich hosting QPR. QPR could be party poopers. And they could be Millwall's best friends. But the reality is Ipswich have lost just once at home all season, and that was back in October. And what's more, when you look at QPR's form, they are winless in 5 games, and they've lost the last 3 games. Very little to play for in this one for them as well. So much on the line for Ipswich means the odds are 1.3 for a home victory. But this is the Championship, of course, and much stranger things have happened. But I would expect Ed Sheeran's team to be a Premier League team come 3 p.m. Millwall are hosting Oxford, and you can see the odds are very, very similar. I would expect both of them to get 3 points, meaning Ipswich are promoted. I built a new tool that you can explore today. Link is in the description. You can select all of your leagues, and then it will show you the most profitable teams for that campaign. So for the whole season, £10 stakes, just so you can see the yield. If you'd have put £10 on every single Hull City game, the yield would be 41.8%. If we look at over 2.5 goals as well, Hull City are right up there again, 23.6% yield. QPR, 20%. Barrow in League 2, 25%. I've selected the leagues that we're covering on this video, but if you are using this tool, you can select any league in the world and view all of the fixtures and all of the teams and see who has been the most profitable across that campaign. So Barrow, 62.2% of their games ended with 3 goals, 64% for Hull City. And we'll jump back to the fixture now because we can see Hull City just under evens to win this game. There is a lot more riding on it for Hull City, but they're playing a team that are bang in form. And as I said in the intro, Philip Clement, former Rangers boss, if they had appointed him earlier in the season, I actually think they would be in the playoffs right now. He has done a fantastic job. And if we switch to look at the rankings tab, we can see points per game across the last 10 championship games. Only Southampton and Coventry have been performing better than Norwich. And incidentally, West Brom there, 1.8. They have turned it around since sacking Eric Ramsey. There's been a bit of a trend in the Championship, teams appointing simply the wrong managers. Watford, another one which we'll get to later in this video. Watford have got a bit of a track record of swapping managers, haven't they? Now, it's the opposite end of the scale for Hull City, who are winless in 6 games. And if we take a look at the clean sheets tab, it's a sea of red. They have kept 2 clean sheets since the start of February. Now, I'm going to jump to the expected points table to show you a little bit more worrying data on Hull City. So this is our XG page, and we're looking at the Championship. Link in the description if you want to check this out for free. Expected points. There's some surprising swings in here, shall we say. Ipswich Town top, Coventry second, Middlesbrough third. Not too surprising. Take a look at who's fourth. West Brom. Wow, they should have picked up another 20.2 points according to the expected points model. Southampton fifth, pretty bang on. Sheffield United sixth. There's a lot of underperforming teams in the Championship, but you have to scroll down and keep scrolling until you see Hull City 20th placed based on XG. And there's also Wrexham there as well in 19th. So Wrexham and Hull City massively overperforming given the chances that they have created and conceded this season. So Norwich City bang in form, and another team in form is Southampton. Recently lost in the FA Cup semi-final to Manchester City. They're away at Preston, and we can see the form of Southampton in the Championship. No defeats since January. Preston has nothing to play for, and I just wanted to flag this game because, yes, Preston have been doing a little bit better. Home form is still very inconsistent. Southampton to win this game are over evens. I really do like the look of that. Draw no bet or double chance if you want to reduce the risk, of course. Southampton, little to play for because they've already secured that playoff spot. Preston, nothing to play for, of course. Southampton may rotate to prepare for the playoffs, but I just think if you can get a team of Southampton's quality and form and confidence at over evens, I think it's worth a little punt, especially on this final day as crazy things do happen. Now, some other odds that do surprise me on this final day is Wrexham. They are just inside the playoffs on goal difference, as we spoke about. And the odds for them to win as high as 2.7. And they need to win. A draw may not be enough. And Middlesbrough are another side that have little to play for. Now, Middlesbrough, people may be looking at this and thinking they've won the last couple of games. They're banging form. They've scored 5 against Watford. We'll get to Watford. Before that, they were winless in 7 games. Middlesbrough will be kicking themselves that they are not already promoted automatically, I think. They were one of the better teams in the division for a long time, and the fact that they're not in contention for an automatic spot is on them and them alone. Now, our probability model does favour Middlesbrough, but we have to remember the context. We have to remember that this is the final day and that there is so much more to play for Wrexham. Taking a look at the data, there has not been a 0-0 at the Racehorse Ground for Wrexham this season. They have scored in 95% of their games, and I think they can get a result. Might not be enough, but a result, a draw or a victory for Wrexham. We'll end our analysis of the Championship before we jump to Bet365 by taking a look at the champions. They are still unbeaten since the middle of March when they lost to Southampton, and before that they lost in January, so I would not expect them to lose this game. I would expect them to actually win this game. because Watford are a mess of a club. I'll say that again. Watford are a mess of a club. They have announced that their manager, Edward Still, brother of Will Still, will be sacked. But not yet, at the end of the season. They've lost the last 4, they've scored 1 goal, they got pummeled by Middlesbrough. Coventry are just under evens to win this game. I think it could get a bit toxic at the Watford ground, to be honest, because they're just a mess. I'll say it again, they're a mess. And I think it's a fantastic price for the champions to go out on a high, as they have done already at the end of the season. So I'm toying with a couple of things here. We have Norwich to score a goal at Hull. Norwich aiming to just upset the apple cart a little bit there, with Hull needing a victory. I think Norwich, not much to play for, but I think that will work in their favour. They want to end the season on a high, and I think they'll be one of the teams to watch next season, Norwich, for sure. They've been fantastic recently. And Wrexham or draw at 1.53. That is over evens as a double, but one thing you could add to this, Coventry to get the win, takes it to 3.98. Coventry could maybe go there and win 3-4-0. Really, Watford have been that bad recently and they're in that much of a mess. They've got a manager there, think about it, on the sidelines, they've got a manager there that knows he has already been sacked, but is being kept around just to manage the last few games of the season. It's bizarre, really, really bizarre. And 1.95 for Coventry, I think, is a price that is hard to ignore. So because it's the last game of the season, I'm going to go with this one, 3.98. Let's live a little. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. And if you're enjoying the video, before we jump to League One and League Two, let me know in the comments what you're on for this weekend, and hit like and subscribe whilst you're down there. So on to League One, the top 2 sorted and has been for a while. Lincoln just unbeaten in forever, really. Fantastic season they've had on 100 points. Well done to them. And Luton and Plymouth here, managed by Jack Wilshere and Tom Cleverley, are outside the playoff spots on the final day. Can one of them sneak in at the expense of the teams above? We can see there Stockport, Bradford and Stevenage, 74 points, 74 points and 72 points. So Stockport and Bradford in better position, certainly, than Stevenage Town. Just 1 win in the last 5 for Bradford City, and it's a tricky game for them as well because they are away at Exeter as we scroll down, who need a win to have any chance of staying in the division. Now there is hope for Exeter City, 49 points, Leyton Orient on 51, 4 defeats in the last 5 for Orient, and they're playing Burton Albion, who are unbeaten in 5. So we'll jump to the fixtures just to confirm, really, that Exeter have put together a little bit of results recently. Unbeaten in 4, they've scored 9 goals, playing some decent teams as well during that run. They've played Plymouth, they played Stockport as well, got results there. They were leading as well in some of those games, which will really disappoint them given their current situation. And for Bradford, they are in the playoffs. They've returned to League One, and it's been a fantastic campaign really, given that they're a promoted team. But it's no doubt about it, their position is down to their home form. Their home form is absolutely excellent. Away from home, as you can see, not as good, no way near as good. And they come into this with no wins in the last 4 games, conceding in each of those fixtures. Now, with so much on the line for both of these teams, I like the look of Exeter simply scoring a goal here, as they have in the last 4 games against very decent opposition. Let's take a look at another fixture here, and a very interesting game at the top of the table. Bolton, who have already secured their playoff spot, hosting Luton, and we're going to take a look at the rankings here because we can see across the last 10 games in the competition, Luton are right up there, basically top, because you've got to just exclude Lincoln because they're just so good. They're on 100 points, for God's sake. They are unbeaten since early March, and they have scored 2 or more goals in the last 6 games in League One and in 8 of the last 10 games. So Jack Wilshere has got them purring at the right time. And we can see as well that that run puts them in a good spot as far as goal difference is concerned. If it goes down to that, they have plus 11, Bradford have plus 6, and Stevenage plus 2. I do fancy them to get a result away at Bolton, and Bolton are no strangers to a draw. They've had 10 draws since the turn of the year. Plenty of draws, and I would not be surprised to see another one here. Obviously, Luton are going to have to go for this, given that they are outside the playoffs before the game starts. Now, for my final pick from League One, I'm actually going to go for goals because there's a game here that means absolutely nothing. But Blackpool have been playing really well. They've gone up to 15th. They were in the relegation zone just a few weeks back. They've been playing really well, as we can see here. In the last 6 games, they are third for points per game, 2.5 points per game. Only Luton and Lincoln ahead of them. So the pressure is off, and they're playing at Reading, who, again, nothing to play for, and they've been conceding in the majority of their games, but scoring in plenty as well. So just confirming my predictions for League One, we have Exeter to score a single goal against Bradford. It could be a nervy away day for Bradford as they await and rely on results elsewhere. And Luton to get a draw or a victory away at Bolton, whose heads may be on the playoffs already. Rotation expected in that one. And over 2.5 goals in Reading against Blackpool. 1.85 takes it to 3.97. Let me know what you're on for League One's final day. And if I've missed any games, missed any metrics, missed any teams that I probably should have checked out, let me know in the comments. Now on to League Two, arguably the most exciting final day. We have 3 teams fighting for that final automatic spot: Cambridge, Salford and Notts County. And if we scroll down, relegation is not confirmed as of yet for anybody. Barrow look as good as down, given the goal difference, of course, and they're on 36 points, but mathematically, not yet. Harrogate Town on 39 points, Crawley Town just outside on goal difference, Newport County on 40, Tranmere on 40. There's 5 teams, only 2 will go down. And there's also a race for the playoff spots. Swindon and Barnet both fighting to squeeze in there on the final day. Good first season back in League Two for Barnet, regardless of what happens on Saturday. And Barnet is actually away at Harrogate, who need a win. So Barnet away from home. Barnet in great form, 4 wins out of 5 recently. BTTS straight away stands out for that one for me. Both teams really do need to score. They need to win. Both teams need a win. So great game there, potentially. And the game of the day, potentially, Chesterfield are away at Swindon Town. And just look at that, 76 points, 75 points. Chesterfield, the team in form, but they're away from home at Swindon, who have dropped considerably. They were near the top of the table for, I'd say, the first half of the season, but they have dropped, and now they find themselves outside of the playoffs with the final game to come. Now we go back to the brand new tool that I built for this video, and you can check it out, link in the description, and we're going to check out BTTS. So who have been the most profitable teams this season for BTTS? 31.7% yield betting BTTS in every single Leicester City game. Derby County, Southampton, Reading, and then we see Fleetwood, the top team from League Two. And they're playing MK Dons, who are already up as champions. That could be an interesting game. So we'll check out the fixture. We can see Fleetwood have scored in the majority of their games. They've failed to score in 14% of games. BTTS in 82% of home games this season. MK Dons, by far the better team here. But they're already up as champions. And away from home, they've conceded in the last 6 games. BTTS for this one at 1.8, by the way. looks a decent selection. Final day, you get all sorts of different types of fixtures, don't you? And this one is a game where MK Dons can relax, Fleetwood can relax, and we might just get a great and exciting game of football. When there's less pressure and less jeopardy, usually means not more mistakes necessarily, but less care. And hopefully with less care comes more goals. So for League 2, I am going with a double, and it is a BTTS double. So we've got, at the minute, a couple of trebles and a double. 2.82 BTTS in the Harrogate Town against Barnet game. So much jeopardy in that one, with both teams needing a victory. That's it. That's all you need to know. They both need to win. Barnet are in great form, good goal-scoring team, and they're chasing what could be back-to-back promotions for them. The other game is the opposite end of the scale, given that the odds are a little bit higher as well. Fleetwood, the most profitable team for BTTS in League 2 this season, against already up as champions MK Dons. 2.82. Let me know what you think about this one, and all of the selections that we have just outlined in this video. So the EFL regular season may be done, but the playoffs are just around the corner. Make sure you're subscribed for more content like this. Get your predictions in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.